So let's begin. Please open your revision sheets. We're gonna revise the literature part as we've already completed the grammar and the vocabulary. You have a separate sheet. Before we begin the literature, do you need or do you have any questions regarding the grammar section?
No.
Are you sure, Malak?
No.
All right, so we're gonna read the questions. In part 3, we're gonna start with everyday use. So let's begin. Question 1. We already know that Mama was awaiting for these. So the question 1, whose arrival does Mama await in the yard? It's these. We're gonna go through them quickly. Number 2, what has D changed? We know that she changed her name, of course, from D to Wangro. Number 3, what does D want to do with the top of the butter, with the heirloom or the heirloom quilt? To take them home. She wants to take them home and never use them. She treats them as if they are in a gallery or in a museum. Number 4, what does Mama hope that Maggie will do with the heirloom quilts when she inherits them? She hopes that she will use them every day. That's why the story is called Everyday Use, because these items are for everyday use in the point of view of Mama and Maggie. Number 5, what does D accuse Mama of not understanding? D, we know that D is very condescending. She's very snobby, so she treats people as if she is better than them. So she accuses Mama of not understanding her own heritage. Right? Moving on to the next section. Question 1. What 2 roles has Mama played for her daughter? We know that she has been the mother and father. The correct answer is mother and father, not mother and friend. Mother and father, this is a typo. Okay, the correct answer is mother and father. All right. Maggie's interactions with others indicate that she lacks confidence. We know that Maggie has some security or insecurity. She has some insecurities, and she lacks confidence to talk to other people. She doesn't. She's unable of maintaining eye contact, as we've read before. All right. Moving on. That's the next question, number 3. What is Dee's relation to the shy, retiring Maggie? She's her own sister, of course. Who inadvertently means not on purpose, overlooks family history and attempts to celebrate. D. We know that D. Hakim's religion is Islam. It's Islam, right? What does Mama fantasize about, revealing both her distance from D and how underappreciated she feels a TV talk show? We know at the beginning of the story that Mama keeps fantasizing about a TV show that she would have a reunion such as those presented on TV shows with her own 2 daughters. She would get a reunion with her own daughters. Next, what does Mama resent about D? She resents her education and sophistication. This is, according to Mama, this is the reason why D has turned as she is right now. What aspect of Maggie's life both protected her and made her a victim? Her seclusion. Maggie is very secluded from the outer life. She has never left her town. So this seclusion, the sense of seclusion, protected her from turning into something like D. However, it's also made her a victim. She lacks confidence. She is unable to uh, articulate or present her own minds or her own ideas. She also can't maintain eye contact. Number four, D's judgmental character. We know that D has a very judgmental character. She's very judgy of other people. So her judgmental character, such character, catalyzes means encourages Mama and Maggie's deep desire for these approvals. All they care about is to get these approval. Are you guys following me, or am I talking to myself?
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
we are
Continue.
following.
Okay, which of the following attitudes does D take
Well,
towards Maggie? She's very condescending, not just toward Maggie, toward everyone. She's very condescending to everyone. All right. What important term do D and Mama both attribute different meanings to heritage? Heritage. They have different opinions on what heritage is and what it should be. Okay. Mama and Maggie, they live their own heritage. They live it every day. Okay. However, she looks at her heritage as if it's something not suitable for everyday life, for modern life. She thinks that it belongs to museums, it belongs to stories, not to be living, not to be lived today. Number two, what social institution has driven a wedge? What caused a gap between Dee and her family and between Dee and her true sense of self? It's education. Education, of course, it opened her mind, but it also changed her character and it made her deny or disavow her own heritage. With what motive does Walker, that's the Alice Walker, the author, with what motive does Walker represent characters' difficulty relating to each other and to the outside world? We know that Alice Walker, she uses the fact that eyesight and eye contact. She uses the fact that Maggie cannot maintain eye contact to represent Maggie's difficulties or the character's difficulties with maintaining a connection or being related to the outside world. And also we see that D, on the other hand, we see that D, however, is very articulate. She is very assertive. She's uh, she's very confident of herself, of course, and she also is able of maintaining eye contact with anyone, whether he is black or white or whatever. She's very confident. So the fact that D is able to maintain eye contact and the fact that Maggie is unable to maintain eye contact, that's her motive of presenting how each different character between the two sisters, how each character can relate to the outside world. What motive signals the way in which characters connect to or disconnect from the past? Naming and renaming. Okay, the naming and renaming process or part or step tells us that that character has detached or has been disconnected from the past. We know that D, she doesn't like her past. She doesn't like to be named after her oppressors. She thinks that her heritage and her ancestors are her own oppressors. So she decides to change that and change her name and also deny or shun everything that reminds her of her own heritage. Number five, what symbolic space represents freedom from the regrets and shortcomings that have infiltrated Mama's? What is the space that Mama resorts to think and ponder of all of the shortcomings that she has in her own life? Of course, that's they are because we know that at the beginning of the story, we see that Mama is waiting in the yard, waiting for the arrival of D, And at the end of the story, after Dee drives away with her own car, we know that both Mama and Maggie, they sit in the yard and they start to smoke some tobacco. So now we've completed every question related to everyday use. Do you have a question relating to this story? You can type in the chat box if you don't want to use your microphone.
No.
No. Okay. All right. So now let's move to how much land does a man need? All right. So we know that there are four characters in this story: Bahum and his wife, and his wife's sister. So the two sisters. So that's three, and the devil. These are the main characters of the story: the devil, Bahum, and the two sisters. So let's begin. What were the two sisters discussing at the beginning of the story? They were discussing, do you remember? They were discussing whether life in the city is better or was better than a country life, right? Number two, what problem did Bahum have while farming commune land near his home village? uh, if we read the complete or if we read the entire story that we know, we will know some of the minor events such as these ones. So Pahom had a problem that his cattle and horses were always running away. That was a problem that was mentioned in the original text of the story. Number three, why was Bahum happy when winter came to this village? Because it was too cold for his cattle to go into the fields. When winter came, he knew that the cattle would prefer to stay inside because it was warmer, of course. So he knew that the cattle wouldn't go into the field and go and run away in the field, so he wouldn't have a problem. Number four, what made Bahum decide to buy his first area of land? He didn't want the innkeeper because the first one, in the first time he bought a land, a woman, a landowner who was a woman, the landowner, she offered her own land to sale, okay, for sale. And the innkeeper, what's an inn? Inn is like, in Arabic, it's called hana. It's like a motel, it's like a hotel, a small hotel. The innkeeper wanted to buy the land, but Pahom didn't want the innkeeper to buy the land because they had some problems, and he knew that they don't like each other, and Pahom knew that the innkeeper would increase the rent or impose some fees. So he didn't want the innkeeper to buy the land, so he decided to buy the land from the landowner, from the woman. Number five, why did Bahom's neighbors begin to hate him after he bought his first area of land? Because he was rude to the judges. You know that that Bahom, after buying his land, he started to be rude to his own neighbors, and also he complained to the police about a neighbor called Simon. So it was because he was rude to the judges, and also he took them, his neighbors, to the court. Number six, what were Bahom's first thoughts when he heard that some people from the village were moving to other parts of the country? When he knew about the fact that some people are now traveling away and moving to other places that may be better than his own home country, he was jealous. He was jealous and decided that he would also move with them. We know that Pahom is driven by jealousy and greed. He's not content with what he owns. Why did Pahom decide to rent extra land when he moved to the village across the Volga River? Because he wanted to make more money by growing wheat every day. Pahom traveled or moved several times several times in the story. If we read the entire story, we would know about each time he moved. So when he moved across the Volga River, he wanted to grow wheat and make more money. Why did Bahum decide to visit the land of Bashkirs or Bakshirs? I guess it was Bakshirs, not Bashkirs. Because he heard that the Bakshirs were not very clever. You know, when a man told him that the Bakshirs are selling their own land at a very cheap price, at a very excellent price, so he wanted to move there so he can so he can buy their own land. So the answer is because he heard that the Bakshirs were not very clever and they would sell their land cheaply. And that's all he cares about. Number 9, what do we learn about the Bakshirs from the story that they don't like to work? The Bakshirs, whenever they are in need of money, they decide to sell some of their land and they spend the money on their daily needs. If they want to buy something, or if they want to buy new food or to build a new home, they would sell some of their land and use the money uh, to uh, to buy or do whatever they want. So we know from the story that the Bakshirs, they don't like to work and earn money by selling off their land cheaply. No, sorry, that's not, sorry, I misread the question. What do we learn about the Bakshir? Yeah, at the end, we learn from the Bakshir's chief, who turns out to be the devil originally, that they don't like to sell their land cheaply. That was just a lesson that the devil was teaching Pahom. Got it? The Bakshirs, yeah, we have other participants. Hi Shaza, hi Wasal, and hi Ayman. Welcome. By the end of the story, we know that the Bakshirs, they don't actually like to sell their land cheaply. That was just a lesson by the devil who's pretending to be the Bakshirs chief. All right. So number 10, and this is the last question. Which of these is not a possible moral lesson from the story? Number A, which is ambition is good, but too much ambition caused by greed can lead to your downfall. Because B and C are actually a possible moral lesson from the story. We can learn from the story that you cannot take money and land with you when you die. Of course, that's when we learn that Bahum dies and all the land that he needs the was just the small place to be buried in. So you shouldn't value them too highly because it's just land. Number C, never challenge the devil because he has magic and he will win against you all the time. And this is, of course, a moral lesson, not to be very condescending when you're talking about the devil. So number 1 is the correct answer. And that's it with the sheet. So I'd like to revise with you how your exam will be. As I said, in the literature section, you'll have 2 or 3 questions from how much land does a man need. From these questions, from these 20 questions or 10 questions, all right? And also you're gonna have 2 or 3 questions from everyday use, these actual questions, all right? And you're gonna have an unseen poem, a very short poem, that you will, or a piece of literature that you will be asked about to extract or locate some of the figurative language or figurative devices such as simile, metaphor, repetition, and personification, and blah, 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 and so on. That's for literature. And you will also be asked whether that poem is in the first point of view or the third point of view. The first point of view, which means that the speaker is using pronouns such as I and we. So he's talking in the poem in the first point of view. If he or she is talking about talking in the third point of view, he would use pronouns such as they or he or she, right? So that's for literature, and also you'd have an unseen reading comprehension. And a writing task, you would be asked to write a story. You would be given a topic, a certain topic to write about. It's mainly a story. And of course, the grammar and vocab. And the vocab, you have 35 words to study. I suggest that you study them, you start studying them right now. And of course, the grammar we have covered in this sheet and all of the entire quarter. Do you have any question related to how the exam will be formatted, or how the exam will come to you? If you don't want to use your microphone, you can type in the chat box. It's okay. Yeah, I hear someone's talking. Sir, where can I find the model answer of the revision sheet? It's uploaded, Wasal, it's uploaded to your LMS under a folder called answer key to the revision sheet. It's already uploaded yesterday. I've uploaded it yesterday.
مستر
Yeah, yes, go ahead.
هو هيبقى فيه essay في الإكزام؟
هيبقى فيه ايه؟
نكتب essay يعني في الإكزام؟
Yeah, you're gonna have to write. The essay will be a story, a very short story.
ماشي
Okay.
ماشي.
طب هو التوبيك المفروض نعرفها ولا لا؟
topic بتاع ايه؟
الاسي.
لا. The rubric, it's a story, it's a fiction story. It's a fiction story. It would be very general. It would be very general. We wouldn't ask a very strict or a specialized topic. Would be very general, so you'd be able to write or present your own ideas. Don't worry about the story. But try to use a very sophisticated diction, very sophisticated words. Try to vary your own structures to add some transitional signals such as then, although, therefore, thus, so, because, although, nevertheless, however. These are called transition signals. They make your text very alive. They make it, they're like the seasons in cooking.
هو الفصل التاني خدوا التوبكس بتاعة الرايتنج.
ايه التوبكس اللي خدوها في الرايتنج؟
مش عارفة حاجة اسمها كوين، مش عارفة ايه حاجة كده.
طيب, and I'll check again if we're supposed to reveal the topics, and if it's okay to reveal the topic, I will write them on your LMS. Don't worry. Expect an announcement today.
Okay.
All right? No problem.
No.
Any question?
No.
All right. Anybody, whether Ayman, Malak, Shaza, or whatever, whoever, do you have any question related to the grammar? Do you have any question related to this sheet, or even if it's outside of this sheet? Yeah, someone is writing in the chat box. No, thank you. No, thanks. Okay. Okay, that's it, guys. Good luck. Your exam's on Sunday or Monday? I guess it's Sunday. So that's it for the weekend. You should study the vocab items, study the grammar, and also don't forget to study the literature item that we've discussed. Good luck. I wish you the best. Good luck and see you on Sunday. Have a nice day. Goodbye.